The gunshot echoed through the parking garage like a crack of thunder. Maya pressed her back against the cold concrete pillar, her hand clamped over her mouth. Her heart hammered so hard she thought it might burst through her chest. She hadn't meant to be here. She was just leaving work late. Again. Her shift at the hospital always ran over. But now, 50 feet away, she watched a man in an expensive black suit stand over a body. The man didn't rush. He adjusted his cufflinks. Smooth. Calm. Like he'd just finished a business meeting instead of ending someone's life. Maya's phone vibrated in her pocket. The sound was soft. Barely there. But in the deadly silence of the garage, it might as well have been a scream. The man's head snapped toward her direction. Their eyes met. His were dark. Cold. Empty. Maya ran. Her sneakers squeaked against the concrete as she bolted toward the stairwell. Behind her, she heard footsteps. Not running. Walking. Steady. Confident. Like he knew she had nowhere to go. She burst through the stairwell door and took the steps 2 at a time. Her lungs burned. Her legs shook. She didn't look back. When she finally reached the ground floor and stumbled into the street, the cool night air hit her face like a slap. She kept moving, blending into the crowd of late-night commuters. She didn't stop until she was 10 blocks away. Sitting on a bench under a streetlight, Maya finally let herself breathe. Her hands trembled as she pulled out her phone. She should call the police. She should report what she saw. But something stopped her. The look in his eyes. The way he moved. This wasn't just some random criminal. This was someone powerful. Would you call the police if you were her? Maya sat there for an hour, staring at her phone. Finally, she shoved it back in her pocket and headed home. She told herself she'd sleep on it. Decide in the morning. But when she opened her apartment door, she froze. Someone was inside. The air felt different. Wrong. She reached for the light switch, but before she could flip it, a voice came from the darkness. Close the door. It wasn't a request. Maya's blood turned to ice. Slowly, she pushed the door shut behind her. The lamp in the corner clicked on. And there he was. The man from the garage. Sitting in her armchair like he owned it. His suit was immaculate. His face was carved from stone. And those eyes, those cold, empty eyes, were locked on her. We need to talk, he said. Maya couldn't move. Her legs felt like lead. Her throat closed up. Every instinct screamed at her to run. But where would she go? He was already here. In her home. How did you? Her voice cracked. How did I find you? The man leaned forward, resting his elbows on his knees. You're not hard to find, Maya. The sound of her name in his mouth made her stomach twist. I haven't told anyone, she said quickly. I won't. I swear. I didn't see anything. I don't even remember what you look like. Stop. The single word cut through her panic like a knife. He stood. Slowly. And suddenly the room felt too small. He was tall. Broader than she'd realized in the garage. He moved toward her with the kind of control that came from a lifetime of command. Maya backed up until her spine hit the door. Lying won't save you, he said quietly. You saw me. You saw my face. That makes you a problem. Then why are you talking to me? The words came out sharper than she intended. Fear did that sometimes. Made you brave when you shouldn't be. His head tilted slightly. Like he was surprised. Because I haven't decided what to do with you yet. Silence. Maya's mind raced. This was it. This was how her life ended. In her tiny apartment. Alone. Because she'd worked late and walked through the wrong parking garage. But then he did something unexpected. He stepped back. Sit down. What? Sit. He gestured to the couch. You look like you're about to pass out. Maya didn't move. He sighed. Actually sighed. Like this was inconvenient for him. If I wanted you dead, you'd already be dead, he said. Sit down. We're going to talk. Her legs gave out before she could decide. She collapsed onto the couch, her hands gripping the edge of the cushion. He returned to the armchair. For a long moment, he just watched her, studying her, like she was a puzzle he needed to solve. What's your name? She whispered. You don't need to know that. You know mine. His jaw tightened. Dominic. It didn't sound like his real name. But she didn't push. What do you want from me? Maya asked. I want to know if you're smart. What? You saw something tonight. Something that could ruin me. Most people would have already called the cops. But you didn't. He leaned back. Why? Maya swallowed. Because I'm not stupid. Whoever you are, you're not someone the cops can protect me from. Something flickered in his expression. Approval, maybe. Smart, he said. But that creates a different problem. What problem? If you're smart enough not to go to the police, you're smart enough to be dangerous. The words hung in the air between them. I'm not dangerous, Maya said. I'm a nurse. I save lives. I'm nobody. Nobody who was in the wrong place at the wrong time. So what happens now? Her voice was steadier than she felt. You kill me anyway? Dominic didn't answer right away. He just stared at her with those unreadable eyes. Finally, he stood. I'll be watching you, he said. Every move you make. Every person you talk to. If I even suspect you've said a word to anyone, you'll disappear. Do you understand? Maya nodded. She didn't trust her voice. He walked toward the door, then stopped. Turn back. Lock your door. This city isn't safe. And then he was gone. Maya sat there for 10 minutes, staring at the spot where he'd been standing. Her entire body shook. What would you do in her place? Trust the threat, or run? 3 days passed. Maya didn't sleep. Not really. Every sound made her jump. Every shadow looked like him. She kept the lights on at night. Double-checked the locks. Looked over her shoulder on the way to work. But she never saw him. Still, she felt him. Watching. Waiting. On the 4th day, her co-worker, Jenna, noticed. Girl, you look terrible, Jenna said during their break. What's going on? Nothing. Just tired. You've been just tired for 3 days. Jenna leaned closer. Is it a guy? Maya almost laughed. If only it were that simple. No. Not like that. Then what? Maya opened her mouth. The words were right there. I witnessed a murder. The killer knows where I live. I think he's following me. But Dominic's warning echoed in her head. Just work stress, she said instead. Jenna didn't look convinced, but she let it go. That night, Maya stayed late again. The hospital was short-staffed, and her patient in room 412 needed monitoring. An elderly man with a weak heart. By the time she finished her charts, it was almost midnight. The parking garage was nearly empty when she stepped out of the elevator. Her car was parked on the 3rd level. She walked quickly, keys already in her hand. Then she heard it. Footsteps. Behind her. She spun around. Nothing. Just shadows and concrete pillars. Her pulse spiked. She started walking faster. The footsteps matched her pace. She broke into a jog. Her car was close now. 20 feet. 15. The footsteps stopped. Maya reached her car, hands shaking so badly she dropped her keys. She bent down to grab them, and someone grabbed her arm. She screamed. A hand clamped over her mouth. Stop. The voice was low. Familiar. Dominic. He pulled her behind a pillar, his body blocking hers. His hand stayed over her mouth. Be quiet, he whispered. That's when she saw them. 2 men. Both in dark clothing. Both carrying guns. They moved through the garage like predators, scanning every car, every corner. They were looking for someone. Her? Dominic's grip tightened. She could feel his chest against her back. Steady. Controlled. While her heart tried to explode. The men passed within 10 feet of them. She held her breath. After what felt like an eternity, the men moved toward the elevator and disappeared. Dominic finally released her. Maya stumbled forward, gasping. What? Who were they? People looking for you. Why? Because someone talked. His eyes were hard. And now they think you know more than you do. I didn't say anything. I swear. I know. The certainty in his voice stopped her. Then how? The man I killed. He had partners. They have security cameras. They saw you run. Dominic's jaw clenched. You're not safe anymore. What does that mean? It means you can't go home. You can't go to the police. And you sure as hell can't stay here. Then where am I supposed to go? He stared at her for a long moment. Something shifted in his expression. Something almost human. With me? Would you trust him? Maya didn't have a choice. That's what she told herself as she sat in the passenger seat of Dominic's black SUV, watching the city lights blur past her window. She didn't have a choice. But deep down, a small voice whispered, "You got in the car." That was a choice. Dominic drove in silence. His hands were steady on the wheel. His face gave nothing away. He could have been driving to a business meeting instead of kidnapping a witness. Or saving her. Maya didn't know which one this was. "Where are we going?" she asked. "Somewhere they won't find you." That's not an answer. It's the only one you're getting. She clenched her fists. "I have a life. A job. People who'll notice I'm gone. Call in sick. For how long? As long as it takes." "Takes for what?" He didn't answer. Frustration bubbled up in her chest. "You can't just kidnap me. I didn't kidnap you. I saved your life." His voice was flat. Cold. If I'd left you there, you'd be dead in an hour. The words hit her like a punch. Because he was right. She'd seen those men. The guns. The way they moved. They weren't there to ask questions. Maya swallowed hard and looked out the window. After 30 minutes, they pulled off the main highway onto a narrow road that cut through dense forest. No streetlights. No other cars. Just darkness and trees. Finally, they arrived. The house was small. Isolated. Surrounded by woods on all sides. It looked old but well maintained. A single light glowed in the window. Dominic killed the engine. This is it, he said. Maya stared at the house. You're serious? Do I look like I'm joking? No. He never looked like he was joking. She followed him inside. The interior was sparse. Clean. A couch. A table. A small kitchen. No personal touches. No photos. Nothing that said someone actually lived here. This is a safe house, Maya said. Obviously. How many of these do you have? Enough. He locked the door behind them. Multiple locks. Then he closed the curtains. Maya stood in the middle of the room, arms wrapped around herself. Everything felt surreal. 48 hours ago, she was living a normal life. Now she was hiding in the woods with a killer. There's a bedroom upstairs, Dominic said. Bathrooms through there. Don't open the curtains. Don't go outside. Don't use your phone. For how long? Until I figure out who's after you and why. And if you can't figure it out? He looked at her. Really looked at her. And for just a second, she saw something in his eyes that wasn't cold. Then we have a bigger problem. The first night was the hardest. Maya lay in the small bedroom upstairs, staring at the ceiling. Every sound made her jump. The wind against the windows. The creak of old wood settling. The occasional footsteps downstairs. Dominic. Still awake. She wondered if he ever slept. By morning, exhaustion finally pulled her under. She woke to sunlight filtering through the thin curtains and the smell of coffee. When she came downstairs, Dominic was sitting at the kitchen table. Laptop open. Phone beside him. He'd shed his suit jacket. His white shirt was rolled up to his elbows. He looked different. Less like a killer. More like a man. There's coffee, he said without looking up. Maya poured herself a cup. It was strong. Bitter. Perfect. She sat across from him. What are you doing? Working. On what? Keeping you alive. She wanted to push. To demand answers. But something about the tight set of his shoulders told her to leave it alone. Instead, she asked, Do you have food? He gestured to the fridge. Help yourself. She found eggs. Bread. Butter. Basic. But enough. As she cooked, she felt his eyes on her. Not threatening. Just aware. You don't have to watch me, she said. Yes, I do. I'm making eggs, not escaping. Not yet. She turned around. You think I'd run? Most people would. I'm not most people. His expression shifted. Almost a smile. But not quite. They ate in silence. It should have been uncomfortable. But it wasn't. After breakfast, Maya washed the dishes. Dominic returned to his laptop. The hours crawled by. She tried to read. Tried to watch TV. But her mind wouldn't settle. Finally, she couldn't take it anymore. I need air. No. I'm going crazy in here. Better crazy than dead. 5 minutes. I'll stay on the porch. No. She slammed her mug down on the counter. I'm not your prisoner. Dominic stood. Slowly. The air shifted. Yes. You are. His voice was quiet. Dangerous. Until I say otherwise, you don't leave this house. You don't make calls. You don't do anything that puts you at risk. Because if you die, it's on me. Why do you even care? The question burst out before she could stop it. You were ready to kill me 4 days ago. Something flickered across his face. I don't know, he admitted. The honesty of it hit her like a blow. They stood there, staring at each other. The tension was thick enough to cut. Then Dominic's phone buzzed. He glanced at the screen. His entire body went rigid. Stay here. What's wrong? Stay. Here. He grabbed his jacket and headed for the door. Dominic. He paused. Turned back. If anyone comes to this house while I'm gone, don't answer the door. Don't make a sound. Hide. Understand? She nodded. And then he was gone. Is he protecting her or controlling her? Hours passed. Maya paced the small living room until her legs ached. She checked the locks. Checked the windows. Checked her phone even though it was useless without service. Where was he? What if he didn't come back? What if those men found the house? She was spiraling. She knew it. But she couldn't stop. Finally, around midnight, she heard the sound of a car. She rushed to the window, peeking through the curtains. Dominic. Relief flooded through her. But when he stepped into the light, she froze. Blood. Not a lot, but enough. Dark stains on his shirt. A cut above his eyebrow. He came inside without a word. What happened? Maya demanded. Nothing. That's not nothing. She pointed at his shirt. You're bleeding. I'm fine. Let me look at it. I said I'm fine. She stepped in front of him. I'm a nurse. Let me help. For a moment, she thought he'd refuse. Then he sighed and sat down on the couch. Maya grabbed the first aid kit from the bathroom. When she returned, he'd unbuttoned his shirt. She tried not to stare. His torso was covered in scars. Old ones. New ones. A map of violence written on his skin. What happened to you? She whispered. Life. She pressed a cloth to the cut above his eye. He didn't flinch. This is going to need stitches, she said. Then stitch it. She cleaned the wound. Numbed it. Stitched it. Her hands were steady. Practiced. This was something she knew how to do. When she finished, their faces were inches apart. She could feel his breath. Warm. Controlled. Thank you, he said quietly. It was the first time he'd thanked her for anything. Who did this? She asked. People who wanted information. About me? About everything. Did you give it to them? His eyes met hers. Dark. Serious. No. That single word carried weight. Why not? Because I don't break that easily. She believed him. But it raised another question. One she was afraid to ask. Dominic, what are you? He leaned back. Exhausted. Human. A man who made too many mistakes. The next morning, something had changed. Dominic was quieter. More distant. He sat at the table with his coffee, staring at nothing. Maya had seen that look before. On patients with PTSD. On people haunted by things they couldn't forget. You don't have to talk about it, she said. I wasn't going to. But an hour later, he did. They were sitting on the porch. She'd finally worn him down, watching the sun filter through the trees. I wasn't always this, Dominic said suddenly. Maya waited. I had a life. A normal one. Family. Plans. All the things people are supposed to want. What happened? My brother got involved with the wrong people. Owed money he couldn't pay. His jaw tightened. They killed him. Made me watch. Maya's chest tightened. I could have walked away, Dominic continued. Should have. But I didn't. I wanted revenge. So I joined them. Worked my way up. Became the thing I hated most. And now I'm too deep to get out. Silence settled between them. That man in the garage, Maya said carefully. Did he deserve it? Dominic's eyes were flat. Does it matter? Yes. He looked at her then. Really looked. He was trafficking kids. The words hit her like ice water. Oh, still think I'm a monster? Maya didn't know how to answer that. Because the truth was complicated. He'd killed a man. But he'd also saved children. He'd threatened her. But he was protecting her now. Who was he? I think, she said slowly, you're more than one thing. Something softened in his expression. Do you think this is love or survival? Days blurred together. Maya and Dominic fell into a strange rhythm. Mornings were quiet. He worked on his laptop. She read. Cooked. Tried to keep her mind busy. Afternoons they talked. Not about anything heavy. Just a life. Small things. She learned he liked his coffee black. That he'd never been to college. That he played piano as a kid. He learned she'd wanted to be a doctor. That she read romance novels. That she was terrified of spiders. It was odd, being trapped with a killer and feeling safe. One evening, she found him standing by the window, staring into the dark woods. Can't sleep? She asked. Never could. She stood beside him. What are you thinking about? How different things could have been. If your brother hadn't died? If I'd made different choices? Maya hesitated. Then, you still can. He laughed. It was a bitter sound. You don't get it. People like me don't get second chances. Says who? Reality. Maybe reality's wrong. He looked down at her, and for the first time, she saw something in his eyes that wasn't cold. It was hope. Fragile. Terrified. But there. You're dangerous, he said softly. How? You make me think things are possible when they're not. Her heart hammered. Maybe they are. He reached out. Slowly. Like he was afraid she'd disappear. His fingers brushed her cheek. I've done terrible things, Maya. I know. I'll probably do more. I know that too. And you're still here. I'm still here. The moment stretched. Heavy. Electric. Then his phone rang. The spell broke. Dominic stepped back, jaw tight. He answered. What? Maya watched his face change. Harden. When? A pause. I'll handle it. He hung up. What's wrong? Maya asked. They found us. We need to leave. Now. Dominic was already moving. Grabbing bags. Weapons. Keys. Maya's heart slammed against her ribs. How did they find us? Doesn't matter. We have maybe 20 minutes. Where do we go? I don't know yet. She grabbed his arm. Dominic. Stop. He did. Barely. This doesn't end, does it? She said. We run. They find us. We run again. That's the plan. That's not a life. It's the only one we have. She shook her head. There has to be another way. There isn't. Then let me go. The words hung in the air. Dominic went still. Completely still. What? Let me turn myself in. Tell them I don't know anything. That I never saw your face. Maybe. They'll kill you. Maybe they won't. Maya. It's me they want. Not you. If I'm gone. No. The word was steel. Dominic. No. He grabbed her shoulders. You think I've kept you alive this long just to hand you over? You think I've risked everything for you to throw yourself to the wolves? Why do you care? The question burst out. Raw. Desperate. I'm nobody. Just a nurse who saw something she shouldn't have. Why does it matter to you? His grip tightened. His eyes burned. Because I've destroyed everything I've ever touched. Everyone I've ever cared about ends up dead or broken. And for once, I want to be the reason someone survives. The confession shattered something between them. Maya's eyes stung. You can't save me by destroying yourself. Watch me. Headlights flashed through the window. They both froze. Too late, Dominic whispered. He pulled her away from the window. Killed the lights. Upstairs. Closet in the bedroom. Don't come out until I get you. What are you going to do? What I'm good at. Dominic. He kissed her. It was fast. Desperate. A promise and a goodbye. Then he shoved her toward the stairs. Go. Maya crouched in the closet, her hand pressed over her mouth. Downstairs, she heard voices. We know you're here, Rossi. Rossi. So that was his real name. Come out. Make this easy. A pause. Then Dominic's voice. Calm. Cold. When have I ever made anything easy? Gunshots exploded. Maya flinched, tears streaming down her face. This was her fault. All of it. More shots. Shouting. The sound of furniture breaking. Then silence. Maya's heart stopped. No. No, no, no. Footsteps on the stairs. Slow. Heavy. She pressed herself into the corner of the closet. The bedroom door opened. Maya. Dominic's voice. She burst out of the closet. He was standing there. Alive. Blood on his hands, but alive. Are they? Dead. All of them. She should have been horrified. Should have been scared. Instead, she threw her arms around him. He caught her. Held her. We have to go, he said into her hair. Where? Far. Somewhere they'll never find us. Is that possible? I'll make it possible. She pulled back to look at him. This is insane. I know. We're running forever. Probably. I might die. Not if I can help it. She searched his face. Those dark, dangerous eyes. Why me? She whispered. He touched her cheek. Because you saw me. The real me. And you didn't run. Would you run with him? They drove through the night. No destination. Just movement. Maya watched the mile markers blur past. Her old life was gone. Her apartment. Her job. Her friends. Everything. She should regret it. But she didn't. Tell me something real, she said. Dominic glanced at her. What? Something true. About you. He was quiet for a long moment. I'm afraid, he finally said. Of what? That I'll get you killed. You won't. You don't know that. Neither do you. He almost smiled. They stopped at a motel 2 states over. Paid cash. Fake names. Inside the room, reality hit. 1 bed. I can sleep in the chair, Dominic said. Don't be ridiculous. Maya. We're both adults. We can share a bed. But when they lay down, fully clothed, a careful distance between them, the air felt charged. Maya stared at the ceiling. I keep thinking I'll wake up, she said. And this will all be a nightmare. Would that be better? I don't know. She turned her head. He was already looking at her. Are you scared? She asked. Terrified. Of them finding us? Of losing you? Her breath caught. Slowly, She reached across the space between them. He took her hand. They fell asleep like that, connected. Maya woke to sunlight and the sound of Dominic on the phone. His voice was low, tense. I don't care what it costs. Make it happen. He hung up when he saw she was awake. What was that about? She asked. New identities. Paperwork. We need to disappear completely. How long will that take? A week. Maybe less. And then we start over. Somewhere quiet. Somewhere no one will look. It sounded impossible. But the way he said it, like it was already done, made her believe. They spent the day planning. Names. Stories. Backgrounds. I was thinking Emily, Maya said. Too common. Then what? Something that suits you. He studied her. Claire. She tested it. Claire. Claire Mitchell. Accountant. Recently divorced. She laughed. Actually laughed. And you? James Walker. Contractor. Boring. That's the point. They practiced their stories. Where they met. How long they'd been together. It felt like playing pretend. Except the stakes were life and death. That night, they ate takeout on the bed. Can I ask you something? Maya said. Always. Do you regret it? Saving me? He set down his food. No. Even though it's destroyed your life, my life was already destroyed. He looked at her. You're the first good thing I've had in years. Her throat tightened. You're not what I expected, she admitted. What did you expect? A monster. I am a monster. No. She shook her head. Monsters don't protect people. They don't sacrifice everything. They don't. She stopped. Don't what? They don't look at someone the way you look at me. The room went quiet. Dominic reached out. Cupped her face. I don't know how this ends, he said. But I know I'll do everything I can to keep you safe. Even if it costs you everything? Especially then. The new identities arrived 4 days later. Claire Mitchell. James Walker. They looked like real people. Normal people. This is good work, Dominic said, studying the documents. We should be clear. But Maya saw the tension in his shoulders. You don't believe that, she said. I want to. That night, they drove to a diner. Public place. Practice being their new selves. The waitress called Maya Claire, and she almost didn't respond. Dominic, James, squeezed her hand under the table. They ordered coffee. Pie. For a moment, it felt real. Like they could actually do this. Then Dominic's phone buzzed. He glanced at it. Went white. We need to leave. What? Now. He threw money on the table and pulled her toward the exit. Dominic, what's wrong? Someone sold us out. Who? The man who made our identities. Maya's stomach dropped. Then they know. Everything. Where we are. Where we're going. They ran to the car. But before they could get in, black SUVs screeched into the parking lot. Men poured out. Armed. Organized. This wasn't just hitmen. This was a full operation. Dominic grabbed Maya's hand. Run. They ran through back alleys. Side streets. Anywhere the SUVs couldn't follow. Maya's lungs burned. Her legs screamed. But Dominic pulled her forward. Behind them, shouts. Footsteps. They ducked into an abandoned warehouse. Dominic pushed her behind a stack of crates. Stay low. Don't move. Where are you going? To buy us time. Dominic. Trust me. He disappeared into the shadows. Maya pressed her back against the crate, trying to control her breathing. She heard them enter. Flashlights cutting through the dark. Split up. Find them. Her heart hammered. Then gunshots. She flinched. More shots. Shouting. Silence. Maya. Dominic's voice. She emerged from hiding. He was there. Blood on his jacket. But alive. Did you? All of them. But more will come. How many people are after us? Too many. They kept moving. Found an old fire escape. Climbed to the roof. From up there, they could see the city. Lights everywhere. It should have been beautiful. Instead, it felt like a prison. We can't keep doing this, Maya said. I know. So what do we do? Dominic looked at her. We end it. End it how? Maya demanded. They were hiding in a condemned building. Temporary. Dangerous. Dominic paced. I go to the top. The man who runs everything. Make a deal. What kind of deal? Me for you. No. The word was immediate. Absolutely not. It's the only way. It's suicide. Better me than you. Stop it. Maya grabbed his arm. Stop acting like your life doesn't matter. It doesn't. Not compared to yours. That's not your choice to make. They stared at each other. both breathing hard. Then what do you suggest? Dominic asked. Because I'm out of ideas. Maya's mind raced. There had to be another way. What if we had leverage? She said slowly. What kind of leverage? Information. Evidence. Something that makes us more valuable alive than dead. Dominic's eyes narrowed. What are you thinking? That man you killed. In the garage. You said he was trafficking kids. Yeah. Then there's evidence. Records. Names. A whole operation. So we find it. We threaten to expose everything unless they leave us alone. Dominic was quiet for a long moment. That's dangerous. More dangerous than what we're doing now. Fair point. He rubbed his jaw. I might know someone. Someone who could help. Who? My old partner. Before everything went to hell. He got out. Went legitimate. Can you trust him? I don't know. But we're out of options. They met Marcus Chun in a parking garage. The irony wasn't lost on Maya. Marcus was shorter than Dominic. Compact. Sharp eyes that missed nothing. Rossi. He nodded. Thought you were dead. Not yet. Marcus's gaze shifted to Maya. Who's she? The reason I need your help. Bad reason to need help. I'm aware. Marcus sighed. What do you want? Dominic explained. The trafficking ring. The evidence. The plan. Marcus listened without interrupting. You're insane, he said when Dominic finished. Probably. You know what you're asking? Those files are protected. Hidden. Going after them means going against the entire organization. I know. They'll kill you. They're already trying. Marcus looked at Maya again. And you're okay with this? No, Maya said honestly. But I don't see another choice. Something in Marcus's expression softened. You care about her, he said to Dominic. Yes. Enough to die for her? Yes. Marcus shook his head. You always were an idiot. He paused. Fine. I'll help. But this is the last time. Relief flooded Dominic's face. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. This might get us all killed. Marcus had been busy. He'd tracked the files to a secure location. A penthouse office downtown, protected by guards, cameras, and a state-of-the-art security system. It's a fortress, Marcus said, showing them the blueprints. Can we get in? Dominic asked. Maybe. But getting out? That's the hard part. They spent 2 days planning. Every detail. Every contingency. Maya memorized the layout. The guard rotations. The escape routes. You don't have to come, Dominic said to her the night before. Yes, I do. Maya, we're in this together. Remember? He pulled her close. Held her tight. I'm scared, he admitted. Me too. If something happens to me. It won't. But if it does, then I'll burn the whole place down looking for you. He laughed. Soft. Genuine. Dangerous woman. You made me this way. The night of the heist arrived. They wore dark clothing. Earpieces to stay connected. Maya carried lockpicks. Dominic carried guns. Marcus stayed outside. Getaway driver. Ready? Dominic asked at the building entrance. Maya nodded. They moved like shadows. Up the service elevator. Past the first security checkpoint using Marcus's hacked credentials. The penthouse office was on the 40th floor. They took the stairs the last 3 levels. Quieter. When they reached the office door, Maya picked the lock while Dominic watched the hallway. Click. We're in, she whispered. The office was dark. Empty. Files lined the walls. There. Dominic pointed to a safe. Maya's fingers trembled as she worked the combination Marcus had provided. It took 3 tries. But it opened. Inside, hard drives. Documents. USB sticks. Everything they needed. Got it, Dominic said, loading everything into a bag. That's when the alarms went off. Go. Go. Dominic shoved Maya toward the door. They ran. Behind them, footsteps pounded. Shouts echoed. The stairwell door burst open. Guards flooded in. Dominic fired. 3 shots. 3 guards down. They kept running. West exit. Marcus's voice crackled in their earpieces. It's your only shot. They changed direction. Raced down a different corridor. More guards appeared. Dominic pushed Maya behind him. Returned fire. But there were too many. We're not going to make it, Maya said. Yes, we are. He grabbed her hand. Pulled her through a door marked maintenance. Inside, pipes. Machinery. A narrow passage. They squeezed through. Emerged in a loading bay. Marcus's van screeched around the corner. Get in. They dove into the back. Marcus floored it. Bullets pinged off the van's exterior. Everyone okay? Marcus shouted. Define okay, Dominic replied. Maya was shaking, but she clutched the bag to her chest. We got it, she said. We actually got it. Marcus looked at them in the rearview mirror. Now comes the hard part. What do you think they should do with the evidence? They holed up in Marcus's apartment. Safe. For now. Dominic spread the evidence across the table. Files. Photos. Video footage. It was worse than they'd thought. Hundreds of victims. Names. Locations. A network that stretched across 3 states. This is huge, Marcus said quietly. Big enough to take them down? Maya asked. Big enough to start a war. Dominic's phone rang. Unknown number. He answered. Put it on speaker. Mr. Rossi. The voice was smooth. Cultured. I believe you have something of mine. Who is this? Someone who can make your problems disappear. Or make them much, much worse. Let me guess. You want the files back. I want to make a deal. I'm listening. The files for your freedom. You and the girl. You disappear. We never speak again. Maya's heart leapt, but Dominic's face was stone. And what about the victims? He asked. Silence on the line. What about them? The voice finally said. The people you've hurt. The lives you've destroyed. Ancient history. Not to them. Mr. Rossi, I'm offering you a way out. I suggest you take it. Dominic looked at Maya. She saw the question in his eyes. What do we do? She thought about the files, the faces, the children who'd been stolen. Then she thought about the life they could have. Safe. Together. Free. It wasn't a fair choice. No deal, Dominic said. The voice went cold. Then you've signed your death warrant. I've been dying for years. At least now it's for something that matters. He hung up. Marcus stared at him. You just declared war on the most powerful crime syndicate on the East Coast. I know. They'll kill you. Probably. Why? Dominic looked at the files. At the faces. Because someone has to. Maya's eyes burned. Dominic. We're not taking the deal, Maya. We're going to the FBI. We're going to bring all of them down. They'll never let us live long enough to testify. Then we don't testify. He picked up a USB drive. We leak everything. Every news outlet. Every law enforcement agency. Make it impossible to cover up. Marcus nodded slowly. That could work. But we have to do it now, Dominic said. Before they find us. Marcus had been busy. He'd tracked the files to a secure location. A penthouse office downtown. Protected by guards, cameras, and a state-of-the-art security system. It's a fortress, Marcus said, showing them the blueprints. Can we get in? Dominic asked. Maybe. But getting out? That's the hard part. They spent 2 days planning. Every detail. Every contingency. Maya memorized the layout. The guard rotations. The escape routes. You don't have to come, Dominic said to her the night before. Yes, I do. Maya, we're in this together. Remember? He pulled her close. Held her tight. I'm scared, he admitted. Me too. If something happens to me. It won't. But if it does, then I'll burn the whole place down looking for you. He laughed. Soft. Genuine. Dangerous woman. You made me this way. The night of the heist arrived. They wore dark clothing. Earpieces to stay connected. Maya carried lock picks. Dominic carried guns. Marcus stayed outside. Getaway driver. Ready? Dominic asked at the building entrance. Maya nodded. They moved like shadows. Up the service elevator. Past the first security checkpoint using Marcus's hacked credentials. The penthouse office was on the 40th floor. They took the stairs the last 3 levels. Quieter. When they reached the office door, Maya picked the lock while Dominic watched the hallway. Click. We're in, she whispered. The office was dark. Empty. Files lined the walls. There. Dominic pointed to a safe. Maya's fingers trembled as she worked the combination Marcus had provided. It took 3 tries. But it opened. Inside, hard drives. Documents. USB sticks. Everything they needed. Got it, Dominic said, loading everything into a bag. That's when the alarms went off. Go. Go. Dominic shoved Maya toward the door. They ran. Behind them, footsteps pounded. Shouts echoed. The stairwell door burst open. Guards flooded in. Dominic fired. 3 shots. 3 guards down. They kept running. West exit. Marcus's voice crackled in their earpieces. It's your only shot. They changed direction. Raced down a different corridor. More guards appeared. Dominic pushed Maya behind him. Returned fire. But there were too many. We're not going to make it, Maya said. Yes, we are. He grabbed her hand. Pulled her through a door marked maintenance. Inside, pipes. Machinery. A narrow passage. They squeezed through. Emerged in a loading bay. Marcus's van screeched around the corner. Get in. They dove into the back. Marcus floored it. Bullets pinged off the van's exterior. Everyone okay? Marcus shouted. Define okay, Dominic replied. Maya was shaking, but she clutched the bag to her chest. We got it, she said. We actually got it. Marcus looked at them in the rearview mirror. Now comes the hard part. What do you think they should do with the evidence? They holed up in Marcus's apartment. Safe. For now. Dominic spread the evidence across the table. Files. Photos. Video footage. It was worse than they'd thought. Hundreds of victims. Names. Locations. A network that stretched across 3 states. This is huge, Marcus said quietly. Big enough to take them down? Maya asked. Big enough to start a war. Dominic's phone rang. Unknown number. He answered. Put it on speaker. Mr. Rossi. The voice was smooth. Cultured. I believe you have something of mine. Who is this? Someone who can make your problems disappear. Or make them much, much worse. Let me guess. You want the files back. I want to make a deal. I'm listening. The files for your freedom. You and the girl. You disappear. We never speak again. Maya's heart leapt. But Dominic's face was stone. And what about the victims? He asked. Silence on the line. What about them? The voice finally said. The people you've hurt. The lives you've destroyed. Ancient history. Not to them. Mr. Rossi, I'm offering you a way out. I suggest you take it. Dominic looked at Maya. She saw the question in his eyes. What do we do? She thought about the files. The faces. The children who'd been stolen. Then she thought about the life they could have. Safe. Together. Free. It wasn't a fair choice. No deal, Dominic said. The voice went cold. Then you've signed your death warrant. I've been dying for years. At least now it's for something that matters. He hung up. Marcus stared at him. You just declared war on the most powerful crime syndicate on the East Coast. I know. They'll kill you. Probably. Why? Dominic looked at the files. At the faces. Because someone has to. Maya's eyes burned. Dominic. We're not taking the deal, Maya. We're going to the FBI. We're going to bring all of them down. They'll never let us live long enough to testify. Then we don't testify. He picked up a USB drive. We leak everything. Every news outlet. Every law enforcement agency. Make it impossible to cover up. Marcus nodded slowly. That could work. But we have to do it now, Dominic said. Before they find us. They worked through the night. Marcus set up encrypted channels. Dominic organized the files. Maya wrote a summary of everything they'd found. By dawn, they were ready. Once we hit send, there's no going back, Marcus warned. I know, Dominic said. He looked at Maya. Last chance to change your mind. She shook her head. We do this together. He smiled. Small. Genuine. Then he pressed send. The files scattered across the internet like wildfire. News outlets. FBI tip lines. Senators' offices. Journalists who'd built careers on exposing corruption. Within an hour, it was trending. Within 2 hours, federal agents were making arrests. Within 3 hours, the syndicate's leadership was scrambling. Maya watched the news coverage with tears in her eyes. We did it, she whispered. Not yet, Dominic said. They'll still come for us. He was right. That afternoon, Marcus's security system pinged. We've got company, he said grimly. Dominic grabbed his gun. How many? Enough. Maya's stomach twisted. What do we do? We fight. Against an army? We don't have to win. Just survive long enough for the FBI to finish the arrests. Marcus handed them both weapons. I've called some people. They're coming. But we need to hold out. The first wave hit 10 minutes later. Gunfire shattered the windows. Dominic and Marcus returned fire. Maya crouched behind the couch, her hands shaking. This was it. The end. But then she heard sirens. Police. FBI. Coming fast. The gunfire slowed. Stopped. Shots outside. Commands to drop weapons. Dominic lowered his gun slowly. They'd survived. The FBI detained them for 3 days. Questions. Statements. Verification. But the evidence was solid. Undeniable. Arrests swept through the organization. Top to bottom. You're heroes, the lead agent told them. Dominic laughed bitterly. I'm a killer. You're a witness. And you just helped us dismantle one of the largest trafficking rings in the country. What happens now? Maya asked. Witness protection. New identities. New lives. Together? Dominic asked quickly. The agent glanced between them. If that's what you want. They both nodded. 6 months later, Maya, now called Sarah, stood in the kitchen of a small house in Montana. Mountains stretched out beyond the window. Snow dusted the peaks. It was quiet, peaceful. The door opened. Dominic, now James, came in with firewood. Cold out there, he said. You say that every day. It's true every day. She smiled. He still made her smile. They'd built a life here. Simple. Normal. James worked at a construction company. Sarah at a local clinic. No one knew who they really were. What they'd done. But sometimes, late at night, Sarah would think about the parking garage. The fear. The running. And she'd wonder if it was all worth it. Then James would reach for her hand in the dark. And she'd know the answer. Do you miss it? She asked one evening. Miss what? Your old life. He considered. I miss parts of it. The power. The control. But I wouldn't trade this. Us. He pulled her close. I spent years destroying things. Now I get to build something. With you. Even though we're stuck here? Hiding. We're not hiding. We're living. She kissed him. Slow. Grateful. I love you, she whispered. He froze. She'd never said it before. You don't have to. I love you, she repeated. Even though you're dangerous. Even though you've done terrible things. I love you. His eyes were bright. I love you too, he said. You're the only good thing I've ever done. Spring arrived. The snow melted. Flowers bloomed. Sarah planted a garden. James built a fence. They were happy. Until the letter arrived. No return address. Unmarked. James opened it while Sarah made dinner. She heard him curse. What's wrong? He handed her the letter. It was short. You think it's over. It's not. I'm coming. No signature. Sarah's blood went cold. Who? I don't know. Someone from the organization? Most of them are in prison. Then who? James's jaw tightened. Someone we missed. The next day, he started carrying his gun again. He checked the locks obsessively. Watched the roads. Sarah saw the old Dominic returning. The dangerous one. We should call the FBI, she said. And tell them what? That we got a vague threat. It's not vague. Someone knows where we are. Then we leave. Again? As many times as it takes. But Sarah was tired. Tired of running. Tired of fear. What if we stay? She said quietly. What? What if we stop running and face whoever this is? That's insane. More insane than everything else we've done? He stared at her. You've changed. You changed me. A week passed. Then 2. Nothing happened. Maybe it was a bluff, Sarah thought. Someone trying to scare them. Then one night, she woke to find James gone. She sat up. James? No answer. Her heart started pounding. She grabbed the gun from the nightstand. He'd taught her to shoot, and crept downstairs. The front door was open. Cold air poured in. James? She stepped onto the porch, and saw him, standing in the yard, facing someone in the shadows. You shouldn't have come, James said. The figure stepped into the moonlight. It was a woman, mid-40s, elegant, cold. Did you really think I'd let you destroy everything I built? She asked. You're in prison, James said. I was. For 3 days. Then I made a call. Pulled some strings. Now I'm here. Sarah's hands shook. This was the head of the organization. The one they'd taken down. What do you want? James asked. What do you think? Revenge. She raised a gun. James dove. But the shot wasn't aimed at him. It was aimed at Sarah. Time slowed. Sarah saw the muzzle flash. Heard the shot. Felt James crash into her. They hit the ground hard. For a moment, she couldn't breathe. Couldn't think. Then she felt warmth spreading across her hands. Blood. No. No, no, no. She pressed her hands against James's side. He'd taken the bullet meant for her. James. Stay with me. He coughed. Blood flecked his lips. I'm okay. You're not okay. You're shot. Just a scratch. You're an idiot. You're worth it. Sarah looked up. The woman was advancing. Gun still raised. Touching, the woman said. But pointless. Sarah's mind raced. The gun. Where was the gun? There. 3 feet away. She lunged for it. Grabbed it. rolled, fired. The shot went wild, but it made the woman duck. Sarah fired again, and again. One shot hit. The woman stumbled, fell. Sarah didn't wait to see if she'd get up. She dragged James inside, slammed the door, called 911. Hold on, she begged. Please hold on. James's eyes were heavy, tired. Don't you dare leave me. Never leaving you. Sirens wailed in the distance, getting closer. James's hand found hers. Love you. I love you too. So much. Best thing I ever did was save you. You saved me in every way possible. His eyes closed. James? James. The paramedics burst through the door. They worked on him. Fast. Efficient. Sarah stood back, covered in his blood, shaking. They loaded him onto a stretcher. Is he? He's alive. But we need to move now. She climbed into the ambulance and prayed to anyone who'd listen. Please. Please let him live. The surgery took 6 hours. Sarah sat in the waiting room, numb. Marcus arrived around hour 3. She'd called him from the hospital. He's going to be okay, Marcus said. You don't know that. I know him. He's too stubborn to die. She almost smiled. Finally, a doctor emerged. He's stable. The bullet missed major organs. He'll need time to heal, but he should make a full recovery. Sarah's legs gave out. Marcus caught her. See, he said quietly. Stubborn. They let her see James an hour later. He was pale, tubes and wires everywhere, but breathing. She took his hand. You scared me. His eyes opened.